Hi, everyone. My name is Ash, and this is Indie Insider on ISR The Swamp 107.5. My guest today is Tyler Herwig. Tyler, how are you?
I'm doing really well. Thanks for having me on.
No, it's a pleasure. It's very sweet for you to take time out of your day to come and chat with us.
Yeah, not a
Must,
problem.
must be a busy day for you today.
It definitely is. Yep, a lot of traveling today. I've got a show a little bit later this afternoon or tonight, I
Wow.
should say, and
Okay.
part of the job.
Part of the job, but you love it.
I do.
Oh, fantastic. Tyler, please tell us when you first became interested in music. And when did you
Yeah,
start playing your instrument or even singing?
yeah. So I've been singing since I was a kid, but I started taking it more seriously in high school when I was about 16 years old. I learned a little secret that girls like musicians.
Okay.
I was in love with this girl for my entire childhood, and I heard a rumor one day that she liked musicians more than anything in the world, and so I decided I was going to teach myself how to play guitar, which I did by watching videos on YouTube, and then I learned all of her favorite songs, and I got this
Wow.
idea in my head that I was going to ask her to our school prom, like a
Right.
dance, and in song. And so I gathered all of our friends together in the parking lot of Taco John's in my hometown, and
Okay.
I put on this concert for her. And at the very end, I looked her in the eye and I said, "Would you go to prom with me?" And she said no.
Oh, my word.
It broke my little heart. The worst part was that all my friends were there to immediately start making fun of me.
Oh, no.
That lasted for about 10 minutes until they got bored. They left, and I decided to sit in the parking lot and sing sad songs by myself for a couple hours. And while I was throwing myself this pity party, this woman got off of work, heard me singing, and got out of her car and asked if I would sing in her wedding. And that was
Wow.
what really started this spiral of music for me because I learned in that moment that I could make people happy with music, not just trying to impress every girl that I saw.
Well, she's lost out. I
Yeah,
should
it's all
say she lost out. So now, if she had to see you today, she'd probably think, why didn't I say yes?
right. Probably. I don't know.
And how would you describe your music to someone who has never heard it before?
Yeah, so I like to think of myself as a multi-genre artist. I want to be your favorite musician that is your own personal radio dial. So whatever feeling you want to feel with music, whatever genre you want to listen to, I'm there to meet that need. And so my own music will range anything from hip hop to country to like today's top 100 pop. And I
Wow.
do everything.
That's actually fantastic, Tyler. I mean, to be multi-genre, I think that's the way to go.
Yeah, I definitely think each song has a feeling associated with it, and I try and write the instrumentation for the music around whatever feeling I'm trying to invoke. And so
Right.
sometimes it leads me down one genre rabbit hole, and sometimes it leads me down another, and that just makes me a very versatile artist, I think.
Oh, fantastic. If you weren't a musician, what other career path might you have pursued?
Yeah, so I actually went to school to be a nurse and then switched
Okay.
my degree to biochemistry, thinking I would become a doctor. And
Wow.
so I would probably pursue one of those two career paths. I have a big passion for the medical field.
And what is your day job if you're not with
I don't have one
music? Oh, you don't have
now.
a day job. Okay.
Music is my full-time job. I do about 280 public performances a year,
Wow.
travel all around the country singing.
That's fabulous. I take my hat off to you, Tyler.
Thank you.
That's a lot of hours and a lot of hard work, I'm sure.
Yeah, the hardest part is all the driving. It's about
Oh,
50, 70,000 miles a year. So
oh no. How do you cope with driving so much distances?
I listen to a lot of audiobooks. That helps.
Okay.
That helps
Doesn't
just pass the time.
you don't put music up full blast and just sing to it?
No, I used to do that, and then I realized I was singing too much because my shows are about 3 hours long. Uh,
Right.
so if I'm doing that 5 to 6 days a week, 3 hours a day, it can be pretty taxing on my vocal cords.
I can imagine, yes.
And so I had to really get away from singing outside of live performances. And I noticed if I listen to music, I'm gonna sing along. I have,
Right.
I have to be really selective about when how long I listen to music outside of work.
So no wonder you listen to audiobooks. It just calms the nerves and you're not straining your voice.
Yep, absolutely.
How do you balance then your professional life with your personal life?
Yeah, I'm really blessed. My wife has a job where she is able to work from home and travel with
Okay.
me quite a bit. So she and my daughter are able to pack up in the car with our two dogs, and we're able to travel together all the time.
Oh, that's nice.
So that side of things is pretty easy. It's a little bit harder for me to maintain friendships because I work nights. Most people work days, uh,
Yes.
and so I don't have a ton of friends. But the friends that I do have, we're really intentional about setting up little like FaceTime hangouts and stuff like that,
Right.
where we'll put on like the same Netflix show and watch it together. And so I've got that close group of guys that we're able to do that with, and that's been really instrumental in helping me keep my sanity while on the road so much.
I can imagine. And of course, having your wife and daughter and your two dogs there, it helps a lot too, I'm sure.
Oh, absolutely. They are my rock.
Oh, you know that's the joy of a good marriage.
It is. Absolutely.
And how do you engage with your fans, both online and at live performances?
Yeah, at live performances, if I take a break or go on intermission, I like to go out and just talk with my fans. Uh,
Right,
Sometimes, if I'm playing a larger performance, I'll invite them up to the stage. If it's a smaller, more intimate venue, I'll just go table to table and start talking with people to see what they like, what they don't
right.
like, and try and just let them get to know me as a person, not just an artist. Online, I have I'm on all social media. You can follow me at Tyler Herwig Music on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, all the things. But I also have an exclusive inner circle, is what I call it, where I do live stream performances and like one-on-one questions and co-writing sessions with my fans. I actually had one last night, and we had 40 people on there
Wow.
tuning in from around the country. And I just put on kind of this little live stream performance where I explain why I wrote the song, and then I'll play it, and then I open it up for questions so people can ask me anything from why did I choose this lyric over that lyric? Or they ask me questions about my daughter or my dogs or my tattoos, all sorts of stuff. So,
Oh, fantastic. Now, with that in regards to online interacting with your fans, do you keep your wife and daughter separate? You know, obviously you don't want people to start stalking you or, you know, messaging your wife saying, "Oh, you've done this and you've said that." So do you keep it separate slightly?
yeah, so I keep my daughter is young enough right now to where I'm not too concerned about stalkers.
Right.
She's a year and a half old, so right now,
Oh,
she it's kind of cute to have her come on some of my online
oh,
performances and stuff like
sweet.
that, and say hi to the
Oh, cute.
stuff like that. But I definitely don't push them into the spotlight.
Right,
A big part of her job is being a social media influencer, so she's got her own online presence and following that's completely
right.
separate from mine. So we commingle a little bit, um,
Okay.
but not a ton to where it's confusing as to who you're really trying to connect with. But since they are such a huge part of my life and even of my artistry, because I write a lot of songs for my wife and for my daughter, they do show up from time to time.
Oh, that's sweet. You know, as long as they know that they're there to support you, and you know they're there to support you as well. That's the main thing.
Yeah.
And have you ever had, what is your biggest challenge you faced in your music career, and how did you overcome it?
I think the biggest challenge was getting over fear of judgment. For
Okay,
I've been performing for almost 20 years now, and I struggled for a long time breaking out of kind of this cover artist box because I was too scared to let people hear my own original work. Um, and it wasn't necessarily that I thought they weren't going to like the music. I thought it's that they were going to not like me because
right.
my original work is a reflection of who I am on the inside. And I struggled for many years with drug addiction. And about 4 years ago, I got clean and sober.
Well
And
done.
that
Congratulations, Tyler.
That was when it really dawned on me, though, that like I need to let people in because maybe my story can help them not walk down that same path that I was choosing to walk down. And so that was like the big moment where I got over this fear of rejection and I said, I don't care if people judge me. I'm spending a lot of time judging myself.
Yeah,
And I just need to let people in. And if they resonate with me and my story and my music, great. If not, there's another artist out there for them. And since doing that, I've seen thousands of people come to me either at a live show or they'll DM me on social media and say, "Wow, I needed to hear the message that you're bringing through your music." And now that fear of judgment is gone. It's okay if you don't like me, and someone else will.
exactly. I mean, you get 50,000 people that like you and
Yeah,
only one that thinks, oh, and 50,000 is greater than just one. So
absolutely.
you're on the right path.
Thank you.
You're definitely on the right path. And what advice would you give to aspiring musicians looking to break into the music scene?
Best piece of advice is just start. Um, like I said, I struggled for a long time with that fear of putting my own music out there, and there is no perfect instruction manual on how to be a musician. A lot of it is um, failing, failing often, and failing forward. Like you're gonna make mistakes, you're gonna do things the wrong way, but if you don't kind of pick yourself up by your bootstraps and just keep taking the next step forward and starting on that journey, you're never
Right.
going to get where you want to go.
Well, that's actually good advice. It really is good advice. I mean, people think, how do I start if I don't know how to play an instrument and all I know is how to sing?
Yeah. You know, you can just you have options. There's a million different ways you can put a band together. So you don't have to play an instrument. There's how many famous musicians out there that can't play it. I think Blake Shelton is a really good example. He just started learning how to play the guitar, I think 5 years ago, and he's one of the
Wow.
most famous musicians in the world. Um, but he put a band together, started making music, and now he's huge.
That is
So
huge. Wow.
just pick a path on how you can start, whether that's all right, I want to learn an instrument because I want to be the next Ed Sheeran. Well,
Well, go for it.
you got to learn how to play the guitar then if you want to do that. But if you just want to be a singer, that's totally fine. I know
Right.
plenty of musicians that they don't want to be in the spotlight at all and they want to be songwriters. And that's totally fine. So find some musicians and do co-writing sessions. You know, there's options and you just got to start doing something and the rest will become clear as you're on your journey.
It's also good advice. Thank you, Tyler.
Absolutely.
And who were your earliest musical influences growing up?
Okay, this is a little embarrassing. One of my biggest, I have several, as any musician would. One of my biggest influences from a very young age was a CCM, so a contemporary Christian music, uh,
Right.
like pop band. They were called Jump Five. Um,
Okay.
they are not going to like if you were to go listen to them now, their music would not blow you away. It was like kids oriented pop music with a heavy Christian message and spin on it. But I
Right.
loved them. And so they were a big influence on me, as well as like early Maroon 5 and even Ed Sheeran now has been a huge influence for me. I also take a lot of my influence from Bono and U2.
Right.
My dad is a huge U2 fan, and so I grew up listening to them. And like I said, as a multi-genre artist, I kind of take influences from every one that I can.
Okay. That makes a lot of sense. And who's your favorite, your absolute favorite band or artist
Oh, I gotta pick.
today?
That's that's a tough question. I'll be honest, just recently, probably within the last 2 years, I've really connected with the Jonas Brothers.
Okay.
My wife got me into them a few years ago, and I've been just analyzing their lyrics and their like melodic structure and how they lay things out. And their songs are just so catchy that I can't help but not like them.
So
So
do you find yourself listening along to their music as you're doing driving or doing day-to-day chores in the house?
oh yeah, that's one where I'll start making up my own versions of their songs as I'm doing laundry and stuff. And yeah,
Okay.
I will go heavy on Jonas Brothers.
I love that. And also, Tyler, how do you usually begin the process of writing a new song or a piece of music?
Yeah, a lot of it starts with just like an idea. And that idea can really come from anything. It could be from an audiobook that I was listening to. It could be uh, a quote that I read in the newspaper. It could be something I heard on the news or something a fan said to me. And I take whatever I heard or read, and I think, how can I relate this to other people? So that
Right,
way it's a message that everyone can relate to in some way, shape, or form. And I'll typically start by trying to write that idea into a chorus and then back up, write verse one, where I'm trying to explain the story. Chorus is really like solidifying what the point of the story is, like the message, and
right.
then fill in verse two from there. And then I'll create like a melodic structure around it. And that can come from, honestly, recently it's come from little like tunes that I hear my daughter singing. You know, she'll just
Okay.
be like, playing with her blocks or her dolls or something and be sitting there like, and I'll be like, that's a really good idea for a melody. I like that. And
Wow, yes.
I'll take that and turn it into a song.
Oh, that's actually, any little thing, whether it's, as you said, with your daughter's toys or a bird singing or something, a jingle you've heard on the TV, and that inspires you. Oh,
Yeah.
I'll do that, or I'll write that into that lyric or a melody, and just go from there.
Yeah, I think a big part of making music is not overcomplicating it. Like we can get inspiration from the silliest and most random things, and as you refine your skill with creating music, you just say, I got that from a bird singing, or
Yeah.
I heard my microwave went off and it made this little chime or
Ding.
whatever. You know, and that's what did it. And I need to not judge the fact that I got this idea from a microwave going off and just go with the flow.
Why not? And to Tyler, do you produce your own music or do you go into studio to
I work with
record?
I work with several different producers, depending on which genre I'm trying to create. I've kind of found my core group of guys that I think specialize in each genre, and so I'll go to them to get the help. I'll typically lay out like a really rough scratch track myself if I can, but then I turn it over to the experts for that. That's not where my skill lies.
Okay. And Tyler, also, if you had to collab with another artist, who would you choose?
Ooh. Um, hmm. Mainly because I want to get my name out there, I would choose Taylor Swift right now because
She's your best.
I mean, I don't know if she's my like top pick ever. Like if I was about to die and this was my last request, I'd probably choose like Ed Sheeran or Adam Levine. But since I'm still kind of on this path towards wanting to get my name out there, I would love to become like every Swifty's second favorite artist. That would be great. So,
Why not? And what personal qualities or traits do you believe have been essential to your success in music?
perseverance for sure. You get told no or that people don't like you a lot more than you hear that people do like you, particularly in the start of a music career. People always want to judge first,
Right.
and a lot of times you have to be able to hear that negative feedback and say, "That's
Why
fine.
not? Yeah, that's fun.
I'm going to keep doing the thing I love to do."
Exactly. And also, can you describe a turning point in your career that took you to the next level?
Yeah, so it was definitely, I had mentioned it a little bit earlier, but when I got clean and sober, that was the biggest turning point for me, um, because I realized that my music wasn't about um, it. I wasn't. I stopped wanting to create music just for the sake of being famous, uh,
Right.
for fame's sake, and I wanted to impact people. And when I made the choice to share my stories my experiences, my strength, and ideally my hope with other people, I have seen my career just explode to levels I honestly never thought that a guy like me would attain.
Life is full of surprises.
It is.
It is. And also, what are your goals or dreams you still have for your music career?
Yeah, so I'd like to break into the Billboard Top 100 one day, that's for sure. Um, I'd like to break away from the small stage circuit that I've been playing for the last few years. As much as I love doing 280 shows a year, it's a lot. Um, and I'd like to expand my reach. So I'd like to do fewer shows on bigger stages in front of more people is really the end goal.
Oh, well, that's fantastic. And also, what are the goals or dreams you still have for your music career?
That I still have,
Yes,
yeah, it would definitely be breaking into that larger stage circuit, and honestly, just creating more music for people. Like if I had to choose one thing, if I could play on the smallest stages in the world but impact the most people,
why
and
not?
maybe help somebody not make the same mistakes that I made when I was younger, particularly around addiction, I would do that any day of the week. The value of a life is
Is more important.
more important than fame.
Oh, well, you've come a long way, as I said previously, and you for the better for it,
Absolutely.
that I find. Also, describe your first live performance and how did it feel?
The very first live performance that I ever did, I think, was when I was like in elementary school, and I sang a song for a Mother's Day concert that my school was putting on.
Right.
And I remember it's one of the most vivid memories. I remember being so nervous because I don't think my mom didn't know that I was gonna sing for it, um,
Oh,
and I kind of
cute.
surprised her. And I was just so terrified. And as I look back and think about how scared I was back then, and now to see myself doing that same thing every single day, it's kind of mind-boggling how I felt that fear and that excitement. And I decided to lean into it and say, I'm not going to be scared of this. I'll keep doing it until I'm brave enough to do this every day. And now it's my job.
Now it's your job and you're not scared. You don't get stage fright. You just go for it.
You just go for it.
You just go. What is the largest audience you've ever performed in front of? And what was that experience like?
Um, Gosh, yeah, it would have been probably 3 to 5 thousand.
What?
A couple years ago. Yeah, I've gotten to open up for some cover artists that are local to where I live here in Minnesota, and they put on some pretty big shows from time to time. And so I got to open for them at a concert in my hometown. It's a band called, what were they called? Them Pesky Kids.
Okay.
And so I got to open for them, and that was a wild experience. Normally, when I put on a performance, I'm running all my own sound. I have all my own equipment, and I'm on a smaller stage. But so to
Right.
walk onto a stage in front of thousands of people and just like feel, you can really feel the energy in
Yes.
a tangible way when you're in front of that many people. And so to just feel that excitement, it really just pushed me um, to want to do it more. It's such an addicting feeling that nothing can really compare with it. So
I could just imagine seeing those people and the lights, and you think,
light
I'm
and the
here.
fog machines and laser shows,
Wow.
I mean, all the things that you could imagine you see at a concert, and I was right there in the middle of it. It was just like, let's go. This is
Let's
the
do
time.
it.
Yeah.
And how did it make you feel seeing these people and they're dancing or they're swaying to your music? How did it make you feel?
Oh, it's overjoyed. I mean, like it's almost impossible to really find the words to describe it. It's a moment of almost pure ecstasy, um, because you're bringing people joy, doing the thing that's bringing you joy. It's like
Of
this
course.
endless, it's this endless cycle of I'm making them happy, them being happy makes me happy, and then I perform more, and it just keeps going back and
And
forth
going,
over and over and over.
do you play or would you play festivals? in your
I
town?
haven't. I have in the past. It's been probably a year or so. I started doing some corporate events with some larger clients around the country, and that has taken away from my ability to do quite as many festivals because I'm contractually locked into doing things for them,
Right. Okay.
which is totally fine. I absolutely love playing for my corporate events. But that has made doing more festivals difficult. Going into 2024, I have plans to do some festivals around the country.
Okay. Now, do you find it's harder to play at festivals than it is to actually open up for another artist?
I wouldn't say harder. It's definitely a different experience. Part of it is when you're opening for another artist, typically no one is there to see you. You know, you're just warming up the crowd for the band that comes afterward.
That's
Versus
right.
at a festival, it's a little different to where either people are there to intentionally see you or they're there to see everyone and they don't really care who you are. And so the energy that the crowd gives off is very different in those two situations.
I can imagine it. I mean, one is, to me, a festival is people walking around, seeing the different bands,
Yeah.
whereas at a concert, it's just one big room.
Yeah, absolutely.
To
It's a
me,
very,
it's more
very
intimate.
different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's two totally different, I suppose, scenarios, you could say.
Yeah, absolutely.
And Tyler, if you just want to tell us anything about, where people can download your music, come and see you in concert, or are you having a tour?
Yeah, so I'm currently in the midst of planning my 2024 tour. You can find information about that on my website, tylerherwigmusic.com or tylerherwig.com. They'll both get you to the same place. You can also check out all my social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok. You can probably still find me on MySpace, honestly, all at Tyler Herwig Music. And there you'll see, like on social media, you'll see all sorts of uh, my tour schedule. You'll see merch giveaways. You'll see live stream concerts. You'll see all the things, and it would be really great to connect with you online and get to know you a little bit better. And let me know if you want me to come out and do a concert near you.
Oh, fantastic. Thank you. Well, Tyler, we're running out of time, but we want to thank you so much for taking again time out of your day. And we wish you all the best for this afternoon and all the best.
Thank you. I appreciate it, and all the best for you as well.
Thank you, Tyler. Take care.
Yep. Bye bye.
Thanks.